What's up, guys? It's Alex Davis. Hope you guys are having a great week. We're coming up. This is the last quarter of the year, and this time of the year always gets me having a lot of reflective thoughts. You're trying to gear up to get that last quarter of the year where all your goals are hit, but also make it where in December and January you're not slow and your businesses are still generating income and everything. And guys, I'm here every week, all the time, just talking. We go through faith, family, life, business, finances, all the above. And so, I want to talk about certain things where it helps people develop, but also it's helping you get a better understanding of yourself and what you have going on in your life. Because based on what I'm talking about today, man, there was a time in my life where I was just as lost as anybody. I had no, firm foundation. I had nothing going for me that was really, I don't want to say nothing going for me. I always had a good mind and a good heart and things like that, but just in a position where I had no idea where my life was going, wondering what was going to happen. And now, after 6 years of being a business owner, it's like you start to see like, oh, I have this foundation laid. Things are going pretty well. Things are going here. But I just want you to know that I didn't always have this amazing appreciation for life. And sometimes you wake up and it's like, wow, today is amazing. I feel like the best I've ever felt. And some days you wake up and you're like, wow, is this really, like, I felt so good yesterday. Is this really like how it's going to be today? Is this really me? And for me in those moments, I have to think about good thoughts. The Bible says to meditate on things that are good, like, whether that's your family or love or kindness or optimism or just thinking like that Jesus died on the cross for you and you really did nothing to deserve it. You just were born and accepting Him is something to just alleviate the pain you're going to. But like I said, I have to tell you, I've studied the Bible, I've studied books, I've went to conferences, I've hung out with all these people, networked a lot, had a ton of meetings over the past few years. And at the end of the day, it's always just a constant choice as to whether or not you're going to choose to be the best version of yourself, or if you're going to let the old habits sneak in and kind of take over from there. And when those old habits sneak in, you may respond or react in a way that's very impulsive, or maybe, a way you didn't necessarily want to, but because you weren't thinking about it, weren't aware, weren't conscious, you still end up having something that you regret. And guys, we got to get a grip on those, and we got to start saying like, hey, I'm tired of feeling this way. I mean, this happens to me like once a week. The other day, I have a 2-year-old. The other day, he slapped me in the face. And, the way I reacted with it wasn't necessarily the best reaction that I could have ever came up with, but it took me being out of the moment and reflecting on it to see that. And now that I've taken a time to reflect, I can tell you that next time that happens, I will be responding better. I'll be responding different. I'll be more prepared, because you don't know what you need to be prepared for all the time. You just try your best to give it your all every day. If you can only bring 40%, today, try to give 100% of 40%. If you can bring 80%, give 100% of 80%. And, surround yourself with good people, and hopefully they will be able to take control of the rest for you in those moments. But if you're alone out there, man, it's going to get heavy. It's going to get hard. You got to find something to cast your burdens onto, whether that's your journal, whether that's God, whether, it's hard to carry it all on your own. And so I want to talk about, something that I always try to do no matter what is gratitude. In any book I've ever read, a part of gathering, you're developing yourself, a part of gathering more skill, a part of gathering more insight, is to just always have gratitude. Because at the end of the day, man, you were born wherever you were born for a purpose, for a reason. Maybe the purpose was just to say that you don't like the place and that you need to move to help people in a different spot. But that is still, you were put there for a reason. And so carrying that with you, you can always look to gratitude. And gratitude is something that, man, there's been times where I couldn't even afford to pay my bills. And like when we first started our business, I mean, I don't know how many of you guys listening to this are business owners, but you put a lot of sacrifice and risk out there to start a business. When we started, I was living in a home that had like no central heating and air that my great-grandmother had owned. My parents were letting me rent it from them for, I think, like $400 a month. And those sacrifices are the only way I was able to basically push through and not go into tons and tons of debt. I still had to go into debt. There was times where, it'd be the end of the month and I'd look at what I could pay myself that month. And, you quit your job making 4, 5, 6, 7, 8K a month, and now you're getting paid $1,500 a month, and you got all your bills due and everything. And I can remember times where I was on my hands and knees, like crying in my bathroom, begging to God, like, please help us succeed, please. And now I can reflect and say, dude, where was your faith then? But back then, man, it was so hard. And you don't know you don't know how hard it is until it's gone, man, until it's over. It's kind of like the good old days, man. You don't know how good your childhood was until it's over and you can reflect. You don't know how good your kid's childhood is until it's over and you can reflect. That's how a lot of this stuff works in life. But if we can just try to bring forward our best self in every present moment, I'm trying to tell you that your present moment energy is the reason for everything happening around you. The reason you don't like your job is because your present moment energy is saying like, these are the things wrong with this job, and instead of saying, oh, here's all the 5 benefits to working here, and here's the 6 people I like to work with, and here's the benefits. You're probably focused on not the benefits. You're probably focused on the things you're doubting, the fears, the negatives. And if you can just change your energy in each present moment, Tony Robbins calls it changing your state. I mean, some people got to jump up and down to do it. Some people got to scream in the mirror to do it. Some people just smile and do it. But if you can change your state, to change your present moment awareness to, enthusiasm, positivity, optimism, just change your present moment energy, and you will radically watch your life change all around you. I'm not saying you change your energy and you get a brand new home and vehicle tomorrow and you get all your dreams made out. But this world, this is an inner journey we're on. The only thing that I can control, man, I wish I could get employees to do things differently, parents, whoever in your life, your kids, your spouse, your friends, you wish you could get them to do things differently, but all you can really control is what's happening within you and what you're working on. And hopefully, if you put enough work in there, you can become an authority figure or an influence to the people around you, and therefore change the person one world at a time. There's no doubt about it that positive energy cancels out negative every single time. Think about this. Think about 5 memories from your past 10 to 20 years. How many of those memories that you just thought of are negative? Most of them are going to be positive. Sure, there's some big negative ones that maybe changed the direction and altered your life a little bit. But most of the time when I look back on my life, I can only remember the good things that happened. So let's focus on those more. Bring those moments, bring that awareness into the present moment, and watch your life change, guys.